Episode 97, Boomer Guitar Sessions. This is Rod, and today what we're going to look at is a deeper kind of minor. Not even a deeper, it's just minor has many colors, and this is one of the most useful colors that we can use in funk, in rock and roll, and in jazz, in R&B, in all kinds of different styles. It's in everything. It's in everything. It's called the Dorian scale. Today we're looking at the Dorian scale. So, things about the Dorian scale. What we need to do first is, okay, so how do we construct the Dorian scale? We can think of the Dorian scale in three different ways as I see it. And there's probably more, but we're only going to talk about three different ways. The first way is there's a pattern of half steps and whole steps that makes it the Dorian scale. So what we have is if we started, we're going to do everything in the key of D Dorian. If we start on a D note, and then we go whole step, half step, three whole steps, followed by a half step, followed by a whole step. So that's whole step, half step, three whole steps, followed by a half step, followed by a whole step. Whatever root note, 1, 2, 3, whatever the root note is, wherever it is, you can construct a Dorian scale that way. All right, that's the first way to think about it. Now, the second way to think about it is the second mode of the C major scale. The D Dorian, or the Dorian scale in particular, is the second mode of the major scale. So what that is to say is we have a C major scale. That is called C major or C Ionian. If we start that scale on the second note, play the exact same notes, but on the second note, and make the D minor, that's going to be our number one chord. Everything's going to center around the D minor tonality as opposed to the C major tonality. That's a D Dorian. That's the second way. The third way, and this is pretty useful, I think, is if we already know what the natural minor scale is, all we have to do is play the natural minor scale and raise the sixth interval. Okay, so the Dorian scale is a natural minor scale with a raised sixth. All right, bringing the flat sixth to a natural. All right, that's a flat sixth. That's a major. All right, so that's the Dorian scale. Instances where we play it. Now I'm going to talk about, let's see, three different ways. We'll say three different ways. First way is anytime you have a D minor chord that highlights a B note in it. It can be a one chord progression that highlights like a James Brown kind of thing. It can be a one chord progression. That's a Dorian application, because that B, that's the natural sixth. 2, 3, 4, 5, natural 6. All right. So that's the first thing, and then lots of songs like Soul Power, tons of James Brown, the meters, all kinds of stuff. Second way we can do it, and this is probably the most common way, is the 2-chord progression that we have the 1 chord being minor, the 4 chord being either major, or the 4 chord being dominant 7th or dominant 9. So that 1 to 4, I call that the Dorian 1 to 4. This is Right Place, Wrong Time. This is Use Me. This is 1,000 songs like Oh You Come of Evil Ways. This is Down by the River. It's also It's Been a Long Time Gone by Crosby, Stills and Nash. It's a ton of songs. Super useful. The Dorian scale's using that. A lot of funk grooves, a lot of that kind of stuff. Okay, the third way that we can do this is the Dorian, what we'll call the moon dance progression, kind of like, and this is not just moon dance. So that moon dance is this. Now, an adaptation of that, this is like, I was playing a little bit of Brick House. This little movement, pretzel logic, Steely Dan, Brick House. Les Freaks by Chic. Also, that Good Times is also another Dorian progression with the Dorian 1/4. So anyway, there's the 3 ways in which we can do it. Many more possibilities. We're not going to go into them. I'm making this simple for you. I don't want to complicate things. So anyway, with that said, all right, so this scale, the first thing you want to do in order, how do we get this into our playing? We want to figure out some of the core fingering. So it's going to be a natural minor scale. And in the lesson, you're going to have kind of a Dorian deep dive, kind of some scale fingerings and that kind of stuff. So what we got here. That song is. It is something. I'm quoting something. Anyway, so with that said, you don't have to, in other words, we're trying to get started. Everything doesn't have to be, you don't have to learn all 5 fingerings and all that before you can start making Dorian sounds, okay? That's the fingering I like for that position. It doesn't cause me to go like this, which is painful. So anyway, with that said, learn a couple scale fingerings. All right. So, and then from there, what I do is get a backing track. And I try to play melodies with the backing track. Okay. Just take that scale that you learned. Play melodies, play phrases. So I do that. All right, so one of the things we can also do, if you're following along in the boomer guitar thing, you've already learned your minor pentatonic scale. What we can do is we can play minor pentatonic-y blues licks and insert that natural 6 interval in it. So that would be a very cool sound that we can use in conjunction with that scale that we just played. Okay, so it would sound like this. Another thing we can do, and I sort of hinting at it ahead of time, I'm just jamming, I'm sorry, is outline the tonic chord. So it's going to be a D minor 7. And now I'm going to show you something that jazz musicians love. That is called a 2-5-1. I'm fixing the tuning. It's rocking too hard. This is a D minor 7 arpeggio. So put that into your playing. You can put it into your playing for the Dorian stuff in there, but also once I get to that flat 7 and I move down a half step, that's a 2-5 lick that jazz musicians love. So the next thing we can do, and then this is, I love this stuff, is you can entertain the higher arpeggios. Okay, so this is a D minor 7. Over top of D minor 7 in Dorian, what you can also play is F major 7, These are the ones I would start with. A minor 7, C major 7. So these are extended arpeggios. We don't have to just play the one chord. We can do higher arpeggios. Stole that. This kind of is my adaptation of Wes Montgomery's playing. He would throw octaves in everywhere, mess around with octaves. So those are some of the things that we can do with the Dorian scale. I want to kind of inspire you not to just play. You have lots of options to put that sound into your playing. And most importantly, what you want to do is you want to listen to songs that use it, and you want to listen to players that use it. Okay? Oh, You Come of you have Evil Ways, you have Chameleon by Herbie Hancock. You have tons and tons of funk grooves. Okay? Whenever you have a D minor 7 and it goes to a G7, you have a Dorian groove. Doesn't matter what key we play it in, so it could be like, that's Dorian. All right, this is Rod, Boomer Guitar Sessions, episode 97. Have fun with this. Make some great noise. Post your videos, put them in the comments. Show me what you got. Ask me questions. I'm here for you. I believe in you, and I'll see you next time. Hi, this is Rod from Boomer Guitar Sessions. I personally wanted to thank you for being part of our community. If you like what we're doing here and you want to see more of it, please hit the like, subscribe, and share. And this helps me spread my musical messages to all over the world. Thank you. I appreciate you. And always remember, you can do this.